Hello, my name is Farsi Photo or Vlog00,
And I'm Pinsel. Hello.
and we have decided to try making a podcast because we are both farsuit photographers, we are both furries, and we believe there is stuff that is worth sharing. We admire each other's work, and I would like to ask you, Pinsel, tell me something about your last photo shoot.
Gladly. The last photo shoot I had was at Eurofurence, multiple even, and due to my, let's just say, staffing activities, it was kind of a rushed experience for me because I was,
So you are both a staffer and you are doing photo shoots as well.
yes, sadly, it's kind of conflicting in times and planning and everything like that.
I can imagine because normally when I'm photographing on cons, I'm like I have no time for myself. I can't imagine doing that with stuff.
I honestly also cannot recommend it because imagine you're a staffer while you're on a photo shoot and people constantly try to reach you because some person needs some coordination or someone needs an information ASAP for anything that's currently going on, and you're like, okay, I'm not even on shift, I'm not even on duty. Why am I the only one who's now responsible for also handling that? When I explicitly told them I cannot use my phone for about an hour. But in this hour, people just
I,
burst in and be like, "Okay, I need this and want this and what's going on?"
it's crazy, and I'm all the more fascinated you pull it off. So, what was the shoot
The
about? Who did you manage to
the
snatch?
shoot itself was actually an let's just say a surprise for an anniversary. The two people that one person of the two people ordered the photo shoot with me as a surprise for an anniversary gift, meaning the other first.
So, like a couple and a maid ordering photo shoot for his mate.
Yes, basically that. But the mate
Cool.
didn't know what was actually going on until they,
hmm
of course, saw me and be like, okay, I know this guy, and yeah, okay, he's doing photos, and this is a photo shoot gift basically for the anniversary. They told it their mate during the photo shoot as well, be like, oh, surprise, which is kind of an interesting gift, and I kind of like the idea.
To be honest, I really love photographing couples because it's very easy to make them interact with each other. And but when I'm having just friends, it's sometimes awkward. I'm like, would you do this? And I'm not sure if it's too personal or not. So with couples, it's so much easier.
Hmm. I honestly think with random or let's just say stranger couples, it's much harder to do because you don't really know their personal dynamics. When you've got a couple with, for example, not their personal energy not matching the vibe of the fursuit, it kind of gets awkward when you're like, okay, this person is the
Yeah.
more dominant, more energetic one in the relationship, but the fursuit itself is the more restrictive or calm or collected one. Then you're like, okay, how do I work with
This
this?
is a general problem. I'm sometimes like, he hates me. He definitely hates me. And then I realize that it's just a glaring fursuit, that the person inside is perfectly happy with what I'm doing, but the fursuit is just glaring at me and hating me.
Yeah, that's even worse when you feel like they might be about to faint during the photo shoot because the first is hot and everything, and you're like, okay, should I just tell them, okay, do you need a break? Do you need some water? Is there everything all right? And they're like, huh, what are you talking about? Is anything wrong? It's
And vice versa. When they are dying inside, they are still smiling.
oh yeah, I've have I had that before that someone actually collapsed during a photo shoot? Not quite, but once during
Fortunately,
last year
not.
in Eurofurence, someone almost,
It did happen to you?
almost.
Almost. I'm quite often having those moments when people are saying, I really, really need to get to the Headless Lounge. And I'm like, I really, really want one more photo. And then it's like two more photos, and then like five more photos. And then I'm like, okay, I have to start. I have to stop because otherwise he really is going to faint. But fortunately, it never happened to me.
Yeah, I honestly, when people have the slight notion of being almost about to faint, I'm typically more inclined to just stop the photo shoot and be like, okay, if you can't handle it, that's completely fair. You're carrying like what 2 kilo of fursuit and a head that's restricting everything from breathing to moving, and temperature and everything like that. It's not worth to risk your life or risk your health or con experience that is for some photos that might be able to be reproduced because
That's extremely responsible of you. I'm always like, if you have any problem, tell me. I'm here to help you. And then they are like, I'm dying of heat. We need to take this one more photo and this one and this one and this one. I'm really dying of heat.
That's the artistic soul that keeps demanding more and more. It's not definitely not healthy, and especially many fursuiters are too shy to actually speak up about it then. And I've also had people who are, despite me telling them, do tell me when anything is wrong, they still did not
Hmm,
want to
they don't.
cancel
Hmm.
it.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult to make them because I can understand them. I'm also kind of timid sometimes. Well, not very often, but sometimes I am. But anyway, what kind of fursuiters did you get?
I get a lot. Like I've got,
I mean this couple.
oh, this couple.
We have been talking about your
Ah, I was
photoshoot.
still thinking about the general idea of what type of fursuiters I get, because those are in completely wild and vast differences, where there's the complete cartoonish, for example, Critter Workshop or Lazy Fursuiter, and then there's the self-made ones,
Hmm.
which are typically more personalized, which are quite interesting to see. And this couple shoot, for example, was also with two custom-made, self-made fursuits in styles they could not uh, differ more, basically. I've had one which was differing a
Uh,
lot, but this one was also. One was a cat and one was, oh god, I keep forgetting it. It was, I think, a hyena.
Hyenas. I'm excited. I'm a hyena.
I was, your name is Wolf and not hyena.
It's complicated. We can talk about it later. It's very complicated. My name is Vlk. I'm a hyena. I have bull fursuit reasons.
Yes, your name is Wolf, you are a hyena, and you moo. But that's something for another
Exactly.
discussion, I think.
Yeah, I think so as well. So a hyena and a cat. Did you know that hyenas are closer to cats than to dogs?
Yes, it's fun thing that most people forget. Hyenas are not dogs, they're in the cat family.
Mm-hmm.
Or cat
Exactly.
subcategory?
Well, feliforma.
Feliforma.
They are actually hyena. Yeah, yeah. They have their own like group. They are hyenites. But I think that we can really return to the to the
I
photo shoot.
think so too.
I'm always having a lot of comments.
But in theory, that basically ended up as a couple photo shoot in the Japanese gardens. And
Like everybody.
I mean, it works. It's super easy to do
Yeah,
photos
it's
there.
great.
And the photos that turn out can be, you have so many positions and angles and, let's just say, ideas that you can convey with these Japanese houses, and at the tea house is it, and with the stones, with the pathways, with the now not running rivers and waters and everything like that. You have so many options there. I think it works for everybody. Only like 2 or 3 years from now it would probably get stale. But then again, if you look at Nordic Foscon, for example, with the monuments, with the white one and the red one, these sculptures, everybody still wants a photo
Yeah,
there.
talk about stale. I know, but to be honest, as a photographer, I'm dying there because I've taken. I mean, in a way, it adds to creativity because when you have to photograph the same scene for 20th time, you really do your best to find any angle that you haven't tried, to try any pose that you haven't tried. But after 5 years and after like 50 photo shoots there, I'm really running dry. I'm out of ideas.
Same, honestly, but the idea for me, or what gives me personal solace about it, or some kind of satisfaction even, that the person requesting the photos at the monuments, at the sculptures, that means they themselves.
They still want it.
Exactly, and they
Mm.
wanted the photos and they don't have the photos so far. That means when you're the one doing the photos there for them, finally they got themselves with their own fursuit in their own poses what they
Mm.
think is fitting for this area, for this sculpture and everything like that. They finally got it themselves. And it's just like the Twitter trends where people just be like, okay, yeah, I'm coupled and this is my partner, and oh, I'm single and please date me, and this is my new Twitter banner, and oh, look, it's not this Twitter banner. These trends, people want to participate. People want to have their own self also
Mm.
reflected in the same place that others are, to show I was here and I'm part of something bigger and everything like that. So even though it gets stale creatively, and I personally can't find any new ideas what to do with that, it still works for the person commissioning the photo or requesting the photo on a passing by moment like that. it kind of works, and I think that's good.
Hmm. It kind of reminds me of situation when I'm photographing farsuits that are, let's say, not all that photogenic. Because some farsuits are like whatever they do, they are going to look great on a photo, and then you are sometimes struggling with it. And I'm like, oh no, they are not going to like these pictures because I don't know how to make them look really super pretty. Why is it so difficult? And then I give them the pictures, and they are like, these are the best pictures I've ever had. And eventually, I've realized that very often these people they are not having any photos because nobody just photographs them because they walk past. People are like, yeah, I need a picture of this farsuit, and it kind of makes me really feel good that they finally have some pictures that really are on. I'm not going to say professional level, but like somebody that really took the time to take their pictures properly.
Exactly, that's the point. That people, it is not creative to have the standard headshot and the standard looking forward pose, the standard grabbing a leaf pose.
But people still want it.
Exactly, because it's them in the picture. It's them being
Mm.
they themselves. Themselves in the picture of them, maybe even with their own fursuit, maybe even their own made fursuit, maybe in a situation or time or place that is dear to them. And from my own experience with all the photo shoots that I do, which kind of feel a lot yeah, like a lot of repetition. Repetition, what a
Mm-hmm.
funny word. That's it doesn't matter because it's the same with weddings. There's every wedding is basically the same, with of course some minor differences, but in
Mm.
theory, you've got the cake cutting, you've got the bouquet toss, you've got the engagement shoots and the ring and the kissing, blah blah blah, and the dance maybe and the alcohol abuse. Uh, you know what I mean? But it's still the same
Yeah.
thing with fursuit photos that people wanted of themselves. It doesn't matter that
Mm.
all couple shoots basically look the same because at some point after all these years of wedding photography, every pose and idea was basically already covered. It's the fact that it's them. It's the fact that it captures a memory, it captures a moment, it captures a feeling even, if you're really good. And even if the feeling is just, oh, I've finally got the attention. Because that's an interesting point that I have to talk about now. I was also at Vergedder, which is a very small convention in Austria with less than 100 people. And there was one fursuiter there who does not even own a fursuit. He was just put in the fursuit by someone else. And I found that fursuit very appealing visually. So it was like, okay, I'm grabbing you. Let's do some photos. And suddenly the person just said to me, oh, I finally understand why people get photo shoots of themselves. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's a fun thing to do, both for the fursuiter and for the photographer. It's fun to not only.
I have a question for
Mhm.
you. Do you like being photographed?
Yes, actually, but I'm a bit different in that regard because I'm known as the guy with the strange faces. Whenever the camera is pointed at me, I try to do the funniest impressions I can, think of in the moment, and kind of have something that people can look back to, be like, okay, this is funny.
I'm just wondering about fursuit photoshoot because, to be honest, I know that there are some people who immensely enjoy fursuit. I could name two or three names that are not only they are commissioning me like on every convention, but I know that on the very convention they have five more photoshoots with different photographers, and they really thrive about it. And I was asking if like hey, isn't it a bit exhausting? And the answer was, yes, it is exhausting, but it's so good. And I was taking, I was, I probably wouldn't commission a photographer, but a friend of mine wanted some pictures with my bull. And so he commissioned a pair photo shoot, and I really wanted some pictures with him because I like him. I hate being a model. I have no idea how people can stand me pushing them around, putting them into impossible poses because I have to admit I am exhausted and I'm not really very excited about being a model. And I really, really appreciate the patience people have with my ideas when I have them stand in some uncomfortable place with one leg in the air and they just stand there till I manage to get the shot right.
Personally, I think that's kind of part of the fun because you can use yourself to express something. It's kind of different way of creative outlet because you can just, for example, with I don't have a fursuit right now, and probably won't have for the next few months, if not years. so I can't talk about the fursuiting aspect of it. But getting into a cosplay, for example, a costume, or just being yourself and modeling for a camera is kind of fun to do simply because you not only get the result and see how you yourself present yourself in a certain way in certain situation, but also can see what can you do to create certain effects on film, on digital photos that kind of have some kind of message or meaning or feeling to it, something that conveys things, you know? I don't know if
Well,
you have
kudos
to
to
be made
you
for it,
if
Prithvi.
you feel it like this. Kudos to you if you feel like it. I am absolutely. I'm kind of even jealous because I imagine that you are having fun in this way. But I have to say that as a photographer, I was expecting that I'm going to enjoy being a model, but I much prefer being behind the camera.
I mean,
I understand your reasoning, but it doesn't mean I like standing on one leg with my arms in the air and waiting for 2 minutes before the camera is set up properly.
it's kind of a challenge, and I like challenges. I'm a competitive person,
Hmm. Mm.
and if they're like, okay, I want to do this in this photo, I have this and this idea, and then I'm like, okay, I can make it work. Now do your part. And this challenge for me is like, okay, I can do the fursuiting, I can do the modeling, I can do the posing, and you just have to deliver on the photo. And the same applies as a
Mm.
photographer for me. As long as they can do the posing, I can deliver the photo. And this is the kind of competitive part that I kind of play with and have fun with. I'm not sure if that's
Mm.
competition.
I think that posing is for a large part the responsibility of the photographer.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I mean, even a person that doesn't know how to pose should be led to some kind of posing. And even though I have to say that I have like 6 poses which I'm iterating through, and sometimes I get some really creative customer that I can just like he strikes the poses and I'm like I'm going to shut up and let him do his work because he's much better than in this than me. But also I know those customers that just have absolutely no idea what to do. They stand with their arms next to their sides and stare at me. And this is exactly the moment where I think the photographer should intervene. That he's paying you not only to take the pictures, but also to guide him through the process, to tell him what to do and make sure that he looks good, even though he is not a model. He's paying you to make him a model.
Exactly, that's the point. That's the idea of a photo shoot commission, I think. And I've had many people who are completely unaware of how they can act in a fursuit, how they have to pose, how they have to be perceived, or have to do anything like that. And others are completely, like you say, just I feel like kind of worthless because they're just doing all the poses, and I'm like, okay, I'm using the camera here, and then they're just shouting, "Oh, move over there and do the photo from there." And I'm like, "What? Wait, what?" I'm moving over there and taking the photo. I'm like, "Okay, yeah, perfect, fits. I have nothing more to add, nothing more to say." It's completely you'll never know what the fursuiter can do, how comfortable they are with doing poses, everything like that. It's really interesting to see.
I have in my terms of service, if I'm asking you to do something that is going to damage your body or your fursuit, please stop me.
Yes, so do I, but typically my goal is, or my approach basically is that I do the pose for them or before them and be like, okay, now lift your leg
Hmm.
up like this. And then I'm literally lifting my leg up as far as I can to show them how far one can move. And then I'm like, okay, can you move it further, further, further? Or do you feel uncomfortable? And typically, with my experience, I can see that a fursuiter might not be that flexible with their legs or with their arms or anything like that. And then I might ask, can I touch you and see, for example, if I can move a leg, then does there any strain on the fabric start to appear? Like, is the fabric stretched
Hmm.
fully? Then I cannot move them further because that would rip the suit. If, for example, the head is fixed with a helmet on themselves, which some do, then I cannot move their head further to one side to get a perfect angle for a photo in. But this is,
You can always break their neck and then it's going to get loose.
if I break their neck at least.
Okay, so it's really not practical. I mean like their spine. If you twist the head enough, it stops resisting.
Yes, I would have to carry more weight,
Then
but
police is going to arrive and ask weird questions, but you are going to have your photo.
and I can pose them as much as I want, so that's a good idea.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. They are going to be very unresisting since that point. No, it's definitely not something I would recommend. So this is why I'm saying if it's going to damage your suit or your body, please stop me before it
Yeah, that's a
happens.
single-use approach. That's
Okay, so now we have got very far from your from your photo
I
shoot.
mean,
So let's return to it. We are having the cat and the hyena.
yes, yes, but we are still talking about basically the same thing, the experience with the photo shoot. I'm not just
Mm.
talking
Yeah. No, I mean, if you have something to add, let's go for it. But if we have exhausted this area, then I would really like to learn about your photo shoot.
Yes, basically that was the same thing where we kind of departed from with the, let's just say, different fursuits, both of them made by the person herself, the one commissioning the photo shoot as a surprise, and
Hmm.
one is basically a realistic cat, the other one is a toony hyena, and
That's always a little difficult when you are having a realistic and
mhm,
2D.
especially when you kind of start to learn the backstory of the fursuit, or not the fursuit, but the character that's being portrayed
The
while on the
character.
shoot, and suddenly they're saying like, "Oh, this eye is blind. Please don't make me look into the camera with this eye. That doesn't work for me." And I'm like, "Okay, I should have known that sooner." But that's kind of
Hey, you want a challenge.
that's the challenge of it, yes. But it worked out in the end, I think. I like the results.
Oh,
I've sent them out for review, and they just told me they're currently out and about for another convention, so the response will take a few
ah,
days.
so you don't know yet.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but I
I've actually just recently got a selection of pictures to edit as well. Some customers are like responding 10 minutes after I send them the pre-selection, and some take 2 weeks, which I don't mind really. It's just a matter of time for them.
mhm. I honestly like this delayed approach by some, because this also gives me time to actually sort myself and order the photos in a proper way for me, so that I can, I'm sorry, what's it, edit them properly, you know? Like when they're like, okay,
Hmm.
I've reviewed it like this, and those photos I like, and then I can expect them to wait for another 3 to 4 weeks for a response from them, because they themselves don't respond that early and that fast. I can also take the time because I know they won't be expecting the photos tomorrow. Other ones are a bit more direct in their demands. I've even had people ask me a second day during the con, even when they were like, okay, when can I expect the photos? And I'm like, as I told you, I first need to load them on my computer and sort through them, which would be about a week at least, maybe two. And yeah, I mean, it really depends on what you're expecting and what they're expecting.
I seem to be lucky in this regard because normally when I arrive from a convention, I don't even open my suitcase, but I open my camera. The card is immediately going to the computer, and I want to see what I have brought. And quite often, I already have some results by the evening, and then I just crash because I'm tired from the con. But I really want to process at least some of the photos. I'm always super looking forward to seeing what I brought.
Hmm. Same goes for me. I typically load it onto the computer basically the first thing in the morning. When I arrive at like 10 p.m., I
Mm.
load it in the computer and
Mm.
then put it into Lightroom. Have it done about, yeah, let's say, first inspection and the second day. But I don't feel comfortable sending out just the first inspection and be like, okay, I took 200 photos and here's 150 for you to look through. I would rather just approach them and be like, okay, here's 40 photos. Take a look. Do you like this one more? Do you like this one more? And then have them select whatever they want and be like, okay, this is this.
I'm doing the
Mm-hmm.
same. I mean, I've even eventually it took me quite a while to try this because I was afraid that they are going to feel like I'm squeezing them for money. But I'm getting very positive feedback. What I do is I do a pre-selection. I choose like 30, 20, 40 photos and send them that, and they can choose 10 or 15 pictures depending on how we have agreed previously, and they can also choose extra pictures if they want, but I charge them a little extra because previously I was always feeling like when I was doing a really good job, I'm punishing myself because I'm editing 20, 30 photos for the same price as when I was giving people 10. And yeah, it's fun, it's exciting, but at some point when you are editing 10 photo shoots from the same con, it also gets pretty exhausting. And I'm really happy that people are taking it very positively, that they have the chance to take a proper look at what I've brought. And quite often they choose something that I wouldn't have chosen. It's an interesting thing that the customer is very, very often having slightly different taste than the photographer.
Yeah, I'm well aware of your plan of what was it, €4 per extra photo after 10? Was it something like that? I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
hmm
yeah, yeah.
And I have a similar structure there. I used to also be like, okay, uh, I can offer you 45 minutes. It will be, for example, €120, and you're done. And sometimes I had results where I was not happy with. So I also were like, okay, I have to find some different model. And my approach is to just outright tell them, okay, my estimate is 10 photos in 45 minutes, and 120 is fair for me, with all things considered. So I'm saying, okay, 10 photos, €120 means €12 per photo. And if a photo shoot goes longer, for example, we spend 2 hours in fursuit photographing out and about, then we don't have to discuss the time increase and booking another slot and 50-minute increments and everything like that. We're just like, okay, we're vibing, seeing what photos we can get. And if we get a lot of photos, then I can still talk about some kind of mass discount or anything like that. But the general idea is 10 photos per 45 minutes is the reasonable thing one can do. And if we are like experimenting for some photo, or a photo takes more time, then the punishment is not exactly on the slot and money that's being paid, but we can take the time and see what photos work well, what photos don't work well. And if in 2 hours nothing substantial came about, then there's also a lot less risk involved. At least for me, I still got the work out there, and I still got the sorting through and everything like that. But it's not like it's wasted money. Like people booking a photo shoot for 45 minutes, being like, okay, none of those photos I liked, and I have nothing from it, and still lost €120. That's a bummer. Because of
Has it ever happened to you?
not in there. Nah, it depends. It depends. Nobody ever complained to me that they didn't like the pictures. Nobody ever complained that
But.
they were unhappy with anything. But when I have
Mm-hmm.
some people who have booked me, maybe even twice, and never used the photos in the end, which has me kind of doubting
Mm.
myself, you know?
This is actually. I wanted to open this, but from what I see, we are getting very much to the end of our allotted time.
Mhm.
We had a lot of topics to cover since we are jumping from one to another. It was our first episode, so I guess that we are going to see if this works. Hopefully it does, because I think it was fun. But I think this is going to be a great opener for our next episode. The question of how does a photographer feel about his work, and also how do we feel about what we can or cannot deliver to customers. Because I think this is a super broad topic that is definitely worth talking about.
Indeed, it's a topic that a lot of photographers have also talked with me about, because I do panels at conventions as well about photography and
Hmm.
professional photography, and this is one of the
And this
questions
is a.
that come up most. But yes, of
Mhm.
course,
Yes,
with the
yes.
time, I can understand we have to cut it here.
So we can continue about this the next time. I hope that if somebody listened up all the way here, then he was having fun. I was having fun. I hope that you've enjoyed yourself as well, Pinsel.
Indeed. And if the person who's listening here, they have to
And
put meow in the comments if it's possible to show that they listened.
that would be great. Yes, I would love to hear or read from people that made it this far. And I'm looking forward to doing this in maybe 2 weeks.
Yes, I hope I have the time. but I think I can manage for that.
So everybody have a great time, have a great light, and enjoy the photography as much as I do and as Pinso
Me
does.
all.